We are still working on our 12 steps, and I chose to do, what do you think I chose to do? So this is what's left. Nurture your body, have healthy relationships, practice cooking, eat less sugar, eat less processed foods, more whole foods, participate in creativity, and develop a spiritual practice. What do you think I'm doing today based on what my table looks like? That would be a good one. What did you say?
Whole food.
Whole food. Right. That's exactly right. Which translates into, at the end of the day, to ensure that you're eating the best clean food, it is best to cook. Because you're knowing exactly what's going into your meals, rather than going to a restaurant or going to a convenience store and picking something up, which I get it, it's fast, it's easy. But no, and we're going to talk a little bit about some unpleasant things, which is kind of our food supply and what has been done to our food supply, and but there's a real simple answer, which we will talk about. So processed food, you hear a lot, right? Stay away from processed foods. Stay away from the highly processed foods. Well, actually, apple juice is processed food. An apple is processed, meaning it is taken from its state off the tree and processed. When you get into chemically, so that is mechanically processed. You're mechanically, so when you take meat and you butcher it down to ground beef, that's processed food. So, but it's whole. You're taking just the meat, you're sending it through a grinder, and it becomes ground meat. It's not highly processed. It's not what we considered a dangerous processed food. But when you add chemicals to your food, and additives, flavorings, colorings, sweeteners, it changes everything. Because our bodies are designed to know exactly what to do with everything we put into it, except when it doesn't. Except when it gets something like a chemical or an additive or something. So think of it this way, anything that doesn't come from nature and has been designed in a laboratory is a chemical that's going into your food. So sugar is a highly processed food because it goes from sugar cane into granulated sugar. And when you take that, when you take sugar cane and make it into sugar, it's at high temperature, it denaturizes, it changes the chemical makeup of the sugar beet, and it becomes something that is toxic to our body, meaning that our body doesn't know what to do with it. It's like, what do I do with this? Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know, I don't recognize it. So the receptors, your cells, everything in your body, that it's information. Food is information. So it's either do I give my body good information or do I give it bad information? So if we give it good information, your chances are you're healthy. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. If it's unhealthy or if it's information that is either chemically toxic or it's unrecognizable to the body, then that becomes poor information and your bodies react as well. So things that happen when you eat processed foods over time, and again, it's like you don't go to McDonald's, pick up a hamburger, eat a hamburger, and a week later your body is like all toxic. It happens over time. So you're building up this toxicity in your body, you're building up inflammation. So inflammation happens because it's a natural response for anything that, you know how you have a cut and there's swelling and it gets red and it's inflamed? Well, that's your body's response to healing. It's good. That's good. It heals itself. But internally, when your body gets like something dangerous goes on with your body, so it's receiving all these things. It doesn't know what to process, like sugar and MSG and additives and colorings and hydrogenated oils, all those things that are hidden in our foods. Over time, it's like, I need to go rescue my body. So inflammation happens around that. So inflammation happens around your intestines and where the food goes. So it's really important that you understand the process, pardon the pun, process of processed food, that it is more than just like, oh, well, it's inexpensive and I'm going to eat it and it'll be fine. It's really not fine if you eat this for a long period of time. And the good news is that you don't have to. You don't have to eat, let's just say for an example, these Ritz crackers.
Whole wheat.
Yeah, doesn't that look good? You would think, oh, that's good. It says whole wheat, 5 grams of whole grains. So marketing-wise, you're like, that's good, that's a good choice. But if you read the ingredients, which are more than 5, well, the rule of thumb for me is this. If you pick up a package, because I can have a whole class on label reading. It is, I mean, and we can talk about every chemical and flavoring and color that goes into your foods, but we would be here for days. And maybe I will have a class on just being a little bit, you know, more intentional with your labels. What I did for you though is in your packet, you have a list of all the chemicals that you're looking for. So I'm going to train you guys to be like investigators and sleuths. You know what sleuths are? They go and they look at all the ingredients and they, you know, you're just wanting to know what's in your food. So this is kind of a guideline and you can start. And you'll be, the first time you go in the grocery store and you start reading labels, it's frightening. But I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to just educate. So what I do is anything that is more than 5 ingredients is number 1. If there's any ingredients I cannot pronounce, number 2. If there's any ingredient that it takes me longer than a second to like even process it, meaning it's so long, that's number 3. If I can't pronounce it, I mean, you've seen, I mean, I have this list and I'm like, I can't pronounce half these words.
Oh, come on. Mono and diglycerides.
Yeah. Or
monounsaturated fats.
Sucroglycerides and tertiary I can't even.
Monosodium glutamate.
Anyway, the point is when you read that, you know that that's a chemical or it's something that is not, your body doesn't know what to do with that. It's something that was configured in a lab. So let me back up and tell you what happens. Our taste buds are designed, again, for survival. It's designed to like salty, right? We all like salty food. It's designed to like sweet. We all love our sweet food. And it's designed to like fatty food. These are all things, by the way, that our body needs. It needs fat, it needs sugar, not processed sugar, and it needs salt. These are all things our bodies need to function. Our cells, our tissues, our muscles, for energy, for homeostasis, for all of that. It needs those things. However, food engineers somewhere have known that. Smart. These are smart people. And they're like, how can we get people to be, you know, taste something and then want more of it automatically? So they're like, well, the taste buds want salty, they want sweet, they want fatty. So let's engineer our food so that people want more. So let me just tell you one thing. It's not your fault that you love this food. It's not your fault. It's completely normal that with what goes into the food supply that you become addicted to it. And I don't mean like, oh, look at food. Sometimes that is the case, but it's that you want more. Like you can, you know, we all joke, you can't stop at one potato chip. So, or you can't stop at one Oreo. It's true, and there's a reason for that. It's because they put things in there, same with cheese. You know how cheese, it's like, oh, everybody, I haven't met one person that doesn't like cheese, like in some level, even though they're vegan or something, they like cheese. It's because they chemically engineer it that we go back for more. There are things in it that create excitotoxins in the brain that say, I want more of that, I want more of that. So it's not your fault that you want this stuff. It's not your fault. So that's first. Don't beat yourself up because you like your Oreos, or you like your ramen noodles, or you like your Ritz crackers. It's not your fault. What I'm saying is that you need to know that everything that's been engineered in a laboratory somewhere in your food is making you sick. So, that's a Debbie Downer right there. So, the good news is that, and you kind of can see it, like if you kind of look at my table here, there's these colors. You know, I see colors here, yeah, they're colors. Then I look over here and I see colors. But can you see the difference between the colors over here and the colors here? They try to mimic it, but it looks, I mean, there's a part of our brain that says, oh yeah, no, that's so much better. That's so much better. Even though we go for this, when we look at this, we know, our intelligence knows that this is what we want. It's that we've been brought to this using these colors, because they are, you've got your red, you got your red, you got your yellow, your oranges, your blue, which would be an eggplant. So they know that, people, they know that, they're brilliant. Marketing, food marketers are brilliant in getting us to want to consume these foods. So, and then once you do, you can't stop. Same thing, who likes Chinese food? Everybody likes Chinese food. You know why? Good, I'm glad you don't like Chinese food. So the reason why you like Chinese food, again, it's not your fault. Not your fault at all. It's because most Chinese places, restaurants, and I hate to tell you, most restaurants, I've worked in restaurants, I know, they use an additive called MSG. You've all heard of it, I'm sure. So it's monosodium glutamate. So there's all a big thing about MSG and, you know, oh yes, we don't want MSG. So people started to become savvy about it. Like, okay, I'm looking at labels, don't want MSG. I want to go to a, you know, when they go to a Chinese restaurant, they ask, no MSG? No, no MSG. Except they can say that because they're now calling it something else. And it's not regulated by the government. MSG is regulated. They have to say MSG is in it, but they now call it something else. And so when you ask, is MSG in the food, they can say no, but it is, because it's called other things.
What?
It is called, it's a long list of things, and I'll read them to you. It is called disodium guanylate, disodium inosine, I can't pronounce the word, caseinate, textured protein. You've seen that. Textured protein is in a lot of foods. That's something that you need to look for. Textured protein.
TVP? Textured vegetable protein?
No,
that's
it's different. Hydrolyzed pea protein, and many others. I mean, there's even more than this. So again,
that's all MSG.
Yes, color, and see, my point is that the government, you know, the regulation on the government and the food is that they always are trying to find ways to keep us sick and eating these kind of foods, which do eventually make us sick. I'm not saying it's going to make you sick tomorrow, I'm not going to say it next week, but over time, consuming these foods a lot will indeed make you, and if you're not adding in these, they're definitely going to make you sick. So, so things like sugar, hydrogenated oils, trans fats, things like that are taking, so let's just say hydrogenated oil. That is what's in this. So other than the whole grains, there's hydrogenated oil in this. So it's taking like a regular plant oil, let's say corn or soybean. So again, if you're taking corn or soybean and you're expelling oil like you do with olives, you expel the oil, that's okay. But when you're taking corn and soybean and you're making it into oil using high temperatures and a process that, there's about 10 stages to the process that you go to make an oil, it becomes hydrogenated That hydrogenation in your body is very, very unhealthy. It causes inflammation. Again, because, you know, when you read up on oils and fats, you hear, oh, those are inflammatory fats. So what that means is they're high in hydrogenation, hydrogenated oils, or they're also high in omega-6. So you know you have to have a balance of omega-6, omega-3. But those things, hydrogenated oils, partially hydrogenated oils, you'll find that in crackers, cereal, you'll find that in peanut butter, you'll find that in
Margarine?
Oh yeah, well margarine is that. So butter is better. So remember that whole thing, butter, no, stay away from butter. Here's margarine. That whole thing was wrong. They were very wrong with that. So butter is safer than margarine, or any of those derivations of whatever we call
Earth balance?
Earth balance, it's not real.
Yeah.
So the more you
Decker
move,
Weiss
so
did that.
the more you move away, so you start here, the more you move away from what seems to be natural, is the more your body's like, what? I have no idea what you're doing. I have no idea what's coming inside me right now. Like, alert, alert. So, but it knows exactly, all the phytochemicals, the nutrients, all these beautiful things that, you know, I've talked about food as medicine, it's beyond that. It's that our bodies know exactly what to do with each phytochemical, each color, each nutrient that is in your food here, and in here too. It knows exactly what to do with. So one of the things I made, because you must all have ketchup, right? Okay. So I can't pronounce everything on this label, but one of the biggest thing it has is high fructose corn syrup.
I was going to ask
Guess what
that.
high fructose corn syrup is? Who said sugar? Sugar. Okay, so sugar, this is the other example of how, like the other MSG. So they've taken sugar. Now everybody's like, I gotta stay away from sugar. There's too much sugar. I gotta look for sugar. So they look for sugar in the label, and they're like, oh, good, it has no sugar in it. It's got high fructose corn syrup, but it doesn't have sugar. It must be okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. So, in fact, it's a little bit worse than actual sugar. So again, I want to stress too, table sugar, or when you have sugar, the danger of sugar is in the food. It's not when you put a teaspoon of sugar in your coffee or whatever, you stir it in your iced tea, whatever let's just say you do, and I'm gonna have a little sugar. That is better than getting a bottle of the iced tea that has 22 times the amount of sugar than what you would ever add to it. So again, most of everything is hidden in your food. So it's really important to just kind of empower yourself to look at labels and to understand if you go to open a box or open a can and you have to then process it more, that you're already starting with something that's not real. And there are things, like I made this ketchup with tomatoes paste. So it's just tomatoes. So the other thing, when you read ingredients, if there are whole ingredients, like tomatoes, let's say salt, tomatoes, that's all that's in there. Tomatoes and salt and tomato paste, that's okay. Those are two.
Water.
Those are two, what?
Water.
And water. So those are 3 ingredients. So that's good. But when you start getting into ingredients that you can't pronounce and they're not real, and it could be a flavor, an additive, a sweetener of some sort, then you back away. Back away! Whoa, alert, you know? Hold on a second. And I lost my thoughts. So even with kids and juices, kids love juice. So if they love that, you know, they love the apple juice. Yeah, right? Don't kids love apple juice?
My God.
What kind of juice?
Capri Sun.
Capri Sun.
It's really, I know it's really bad, but
Okay, I know. So what we like to do is start with children too, is start, introducing them to the whole foods, to the whole fruit. And they start to adapt to it. And with juices too, at the very least, you can are the kids listening? You can water it down. You can start watering it down, so at least it's less sugar content, and you kind of make it gradual. I know with children, they're very, they love it because they're already to it. They're already like, I need my sugar. So you start to water it down if you are giving kids the apple juice, and then just we have that's the other thing is we're offering like not lots of fruits and then just start introducing them to the whole fruit, and you can see there's less, and people are starting to. Some of the marketers are marketing less sugar and all that, but it doesn't replace what you can get from the fruit, because you're getting the fiber and you're getting all the phytonutrients in it. So, but I understand with kids it's hard because it's what they want, and they're fussy and picky.
No added sugar.
Yeah, no added sugar. Yes, because there's high fructose corn syrup in it.
Is there
So-
any nutritional benefit to high fructose
No, none at all.
corn syrup?
No nutrients. So again, this is what I call dead food. I call it dead because it has no life in it. And I call this live food. So it's a different, and this is the difference between clean whole food and processed dead food.
Even your broth?
So no, my broth, no, that ended up here. That was used as an example. So again, when we do that, when we make that shift, and again, it doesn't happen overnight, and you don't do it every meal. That's hard. So you start to crowd things out and move things into your diet. So for me, this is such an easy thing to do. Ketchup is one of the worst things out there. It is, especially if you're dealing with blood sugar issues. It is mostly sugar. Ketchup is mostly sugar, and oh, by the way, they'll throw in some tomatoes, and then they'll add some food coloring in it because they need it to get redder. So there's just a lot of things in ketchup, and it's something we use every day. So what I did is I made a ketchup, and it literally was 4 ingredients. It's tomato paste, it's cloves and allspice, a little bit of honey, and water, and a little tiny bit of salt. And I just stirred that up, whipped it up, and you can taste for yourself. We have some, these are sweet potato. All I did was cut them up, put a little bit of oil, just a little tiny bit, not even a lot, and you could do it without, and a little bit of pepper, and put them in the oven and bake those, and they're just so. French fries, oh my goodness, French fries, I know, addictive, right? Can't stop at one.
And you
You're
can eat
back,
the
you know,
whole thing.
and then another one, and then you go, can we go back through the drive-through? I want another fries. I don't want the hamburger, I just want the fries. Those fries are really, I mean, now they say they moved up the cooking oil. Some places are using a different cooking oil. And now the government, they've gotten by that, is they really only have to report that they're using a hydrogenated oil if it's 0.5% of the volume or something. So there's a way that they can still make it hydrogenated oil, say it's something else, but it's still the oil they're frying in. It's not the oil, it's not coconut oil. If it's not coconut oil, there's really not another oil that you can deep fry in that's healthy. So the other thing I wanted to say about, artificial sweeteners. Okay, so how many, the pinks and the blue and the yellow, all the pretty colors. So just understand that these are, I mean, they already came out and they said it causes cancer in lab rats and, you know, all of that. And saccharin, they said it was sweetened though. But there's something out there that's even more dangerous, and it's I can't pronounce the word, aspartame.
Aspartame.
So it comes in Splenda. So that whole thing like, oh, Splenda's healthy because they marketed it so well. They really did a good job. Splenda. Not good, no good. Okay, so these it's all artificial sweetener. It becomes also addictive. So again, it has excitotoxins in it that will cause you to want it more and more and more and more and more. And those, you know, and take me off camera because I'm going to say it, but doctors will tell you if you're diabetic and you're struggling with blood sugar, that this is what they were handing out to their clients and to their patients. and the patient started developing other problems, and they were still on their insulin. It's because because artificial sweetener still raises your blood sugar. Your body still's like it's sweet. It's still gonna your body's still gonna do what it usually does. It translated just as it does sugar, and even it's more dangerous because it has other toxins in it.
Aspartame can make you violently ill. It makes me
And thank God you're sensitive to it because you have that immediate reaction. Other people consume this a lot. And I just want to educate you on that please stay away from that. If you like your sweet, there's something called stevia. The research out there right now it looks good. There's nothing that they can find that is linking it to any problems. The body is responding to it well. And again,
That's a stevia.
that's
It's
a
got
stevia.
erythritol?
It's got a little bitterness because the stevia plant is bitter because they're using the plant. So there's no plant in this. There's no plant. It doesn't come from a plant. Either does Splenda. There's no plant. Stevia is from a plant. It's a leaf.
What about your Truvia?
Yeah, Truvia. So what I recommend with stevia is stevia. Again, you want to if you use stevia regularly, if you do struggle with blood sugar issues, you want to get the pure form of it. It's a little expensive. It's about $7.99 for a little bottle, but it has 900 times the sweetness of regular sugar. So that means you're just using like even a half a drop, and it sweetens very quickly. So I'd love to see you move away from anything pink, blue, green. I'd like to see
Yellow.
you move away from that yellow and move towards trying the stevia. It can save your life. Artificial sweeteners have been very mismarketed in our country, and I just need to put that out there. I'm not doing my duty and my responsibility to not tell you that. So, and again, oh, here comes the truck.
And you can grow stevia
You
in a
can grow
plant?
Stevia. I grew a stevia plant.
In a pot?
Yes. you
And
can
a
grow it
leaf
in a
will
pot.
sweeten your whole pot of tea.
And your whole pot. Thank you for saying that. So, for you, those of you who love sweet tea, we live in the South. Oh yes, we love sweet tea, right? So, like when you go out to like Bojangles and you get your sweet tea, there's about, I think somebody said there's like a half a cup of sugar in like one of those, like a half a cup.
If it's not high fructose corn
If it's
syrup.
not high fructose corn syrup. So that's not a teaspoon, which is, okay. It's not a tablespoon, it's a lot of sugar. And if you're drinking 2 of those a day or 1 of those a day, you've exceeded your sugar amount. So what Jimmy just mentioned is a phenomenal, I did it, it was amazing. I grew a stevia plant and I put my stevia leaf in my tea along with some mint. It was delicious. It was better than actually the drop of stevia because the stevia does have a little aftertaste, but the leaf didn't. So and you can buy it, grow it in a pot. It grows pretty well. You don't really have to have any sort of special, soil or anything to grow.
And I think it might be one of those plants that comes back every year.
Perennial.
Perennial.
Can you dry it, Allie, and
Yes.
use it that way?
Yep, you can dry it and then.
Because the liquid, I've tried it, and it's.
Yeah, it is.
I've tried, and I
it-
can't.
Yeah, and it is. It is
So-
pretty potent.
Talk to us about the Truvia, which is stevia plus something. Mine has erythritol.
Right.
What is that?
So that's something that is to preserve it, and so it has a preservative in it. So if you're using the packets, it's still processed. So I don't really, when I talk about stevia, and this is a stevia packet,
Right.
I would recommend that you move away from the packets and you get the bottle. And it says pure 100% stevia on it. These have something in it that broke down the stevia plant. So it's meaning it's more processed than the actual 100% stevia. So
the drops are 100%?
yes, and you've got to read the label. Some are, some aren't. So I would recommend that you spend $1 more, I think it is, for the bottle to get the 100%. So the one thing I wanted you to, and I'll take your question. So, like, say for example, the thing we're sampling today is a bean dip. We all love bean dip. And like, you know, we go in and we see this, and we're like, oh, I'm gonna go get that. So, if you read the ingredient list, where is it? Yeast extract.
Nutritional
Corn
yeast?
maltodextrin.
Oh, no.
And there are other things in here that I can't pronounce. The point is that really, and we'll show you, because we made the dip. It's black beans, a little fresh garlic, a little onion. We sauteed that up. We then put it in a blender and we blended it. And we added a little bit of cumin and cilantro. It's like that, it blows that out of the water. And it's fresh and it's like 4 ingredients. And it's black beans are 88 cents. This would be more expensive than the black bean dip we made for you guys to try. So anyway, it's a lot of information. Like I could talk an hour about the food. The point I want to make today, and I challenge you, because I love to challenge you guys, is just to start, especially you know where it hides? Salad dressings. Usually hydrogenated oil. Okay, how many think corn oil, canola oil is healthy? It's okay, raise your hands. Okay. Okay, why? Because that's what they told us it was, right? They told us it
Marketers
was.
say so. It must be true.
Okay, so it comes from a rapeseed. It comes from rapeseed. So just the word itself is horrific. And it's been used as an insecticide and pesticide in crops. It is highly, highly toxic. I'm not telling you that. They're not, because they don't want you, you know, they're saying, yeah, they finally caught on, okay, that's right, maybe vegetable oil is not the way to go, it's an inflammatory fat, but here we've got canola oil. There's no canola plant.
That's funny.
There's no canola plant. No, really, seriously, think about it. There's an olive tree, there's almonds, almond oil.
There's coconut.
There's coconut oil. So when you create something that doesn't even, where the heck did that come from? They created it, and they created it as a pesticide. You can look it up. Look it up. It's from a rapeseed plant, a rapeseed, which is not, it was created to be a pesticide in nature to ward off insects. What the heck is that doing in your body? So please move away from I'm sorry, I know everyone's shaking their head like, oh my gosh. Move away from the canola oil. Again, there's 2 oils that I always talk about. It's unprocessed, unrefined, cold pressed. These are words you guys need to know. Think about it. Unrefined, okay, that means it's not refined. That's good. It's cold pressed, meaning it wasn't under high heat to convert. Because understand something, when things go under high heat, the chemical makeup changes. Same with your food. So when things go under high heat, they denaturize, they become something a little different. There's a little bit of an imbalance in the chemical. So your body, again, is like, I don't know what that is in my body. So you want to make sure that you're looking for cold press, unrefined. Those are good words to look for. So when you're looking at hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated, trans fat, any of that stuff, the big light goes off. Back away, back away. Canola oil, back away, back away. Soybean oil, back away. Okay? So, because these are all oils that are refined.
What about peanut oil?
Peanut oil, same thing.
Back away?
Back away. Coconut oil. Coconut oil is great under high heat. I know. No.
And you know, you can even get coconut oil. It's not as the cold pressed well, you can get it at Aldi that way. And you can get it, yeah.
Okay.
And but you can get a Luana, which is a Louisiana company, makes a coconut oil that isn't as.
That's not good. No, no. That one, okay, so they, at Hoppies, that's a good point. At Hoppies, they sell Luana, they sell it at Ingalls. Do not know that, don't get that.
No?
No.
Okay, that's what I was getting
So what you
at.
find on that ingredient is refined. It says refined coconut oil. Just remember, unrefined, cold pressed. Those are things, because when you're talking about refined, distilled, refined distilled, what's happening is they're stripping away the natural state of
The
whatever it
nutrients.
is, the nutrients. And then they go and put it back in, and they call it fortified, they call it enriched. So a lot of you too, again, we're made to think, oh, enriched bread, that's great, or enriched milk, or fortified milk, that's awesome. Well, what the heck happened to the stuff that was in it in the first place? They took it out. So they either, distilled it out, refined it out, and then they put it back in. Well, why the heck not just eat why not just eat it in its regular state?
For the heart doctor recommended that granola oil.
Well, I
So
will,
you want to keep them coming back or just want to kill them?
well, the doctor also may
Not my heart doctor.
But also somebody said chicken over there. I fried chicken and bacon and all that in coconut oil, and I think it tastes better. I feel like the canola oil kind of has a taste to it, but the coconut oil doesn't have much of a taste at all.
Well, especially at high heat.
Yeah.
It does that really powerful coconut taste
It
and
don't
smell.
burn that coconut oil?
It
Oh, no,
doesn't burn.
it's made for high heat.
And it starts solid, but like the moment you put even just a teeny bit of heat on it, it goes liquid.
It's like
the
lard.
oil.
It's just like lard.
Yeah, or summertime, you just set it out and it melts.
All in. If you say you're gonna fry chicken, and you're gonna have to buy up some coconut oil, because it's like, if they got big containers.
Yeah, we actually, if you were interested, and we do it at the Tuesday market, we sell it at cost. We get a really good price on it. It's a big, 56 ounce, how much big? Have you bought that?
No.
It's like 52 ounces of coconut oil for $15, something like that, which it usually costs like 30. It's expensive, because everything healthy is expensive. So, but we can get, good idea.
Bringing some doing fried.
Oh, you want to? Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
We could do that.
Let's do.
And I bet you can,
I'll help.
you'll
I
help.
want it hot.
I love that. I love that. That's a great idea. I know, because you know what, I'll tell you folks too. It's like, it's one thing for me to tell you all this stuff, and it's one thing for you to then say, well, is it good? That's why I kind of made the ketchup, because, everybody knows what Heinz ketchup tastes like, but this is real ketchup. This doesn't have any of the additives and the colorants and all of that. It's as whole as you can come to ketchup. So, and I wanted to make it so you taste it. If you bring things to me and say, all right, this is what I got, I love it, can we make it healthy? That's an awesome thing. I would love that. So let's do that.
Will you come back in sooner than a month for that?
No, but I can make it happen when I'm away. But I'd love to be tasting it.
When are you
Try.
leaving, Allie? You said you were leaving.
Yeah,
When?
so today.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, this is it. This actually is my last class.
That's so sad.
No, it's not sad, it's
For a
good.
month.
I mean, I will come back and I will be, you better watch out when I come back.
How long you gonna stay?
About a
You
month.
gonna go? For how long?
Yeah, about a month, about 4 weeks. Yeah, not too long, it's not, it'll be right around the corner. Hello, how are you, Elijah? Good to see you.
I didn't know, I've been sitting over in the parking lot.
I know you've been so long, we've moved it over here, it's nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Are you getting married? Is that why you gonna?
No. I wish you would know. No.
But
No,
you are
I'm needing some time. Yeah, it's good though. It's all good. So, I have another class to go to in Asheville to teach, which is actually my last class. But I want you to come and try this. And you may be like, and what's going to happen too is you're like, doesn't taste like my Heinz ketchup. But when I made this at Tuesday's class, that bowl was licked clean. I mean, people were like coming in, and I had nothing more to dip it, and they were like, "Can I just take a spoon and dip it?" So it's got a nice taste to it. Again, you can add anything in there that you might think, oh, maybe I'll add a little jalapeno in there. Maybe I want to make it a little spicy. Maybe you want to add something in there. Maybe you add a little cumin, or you can add any spice into that ketchup you want. So.
I got a Hispanic friend I work with, she made homemade ketchup. I'll tell you homemade
Good. I would be interested in her recipe to see how she made it.
ketchup. She moved out of the plant, so she had moved, but she can.
Do you remember how she made it?
No, she brought it already prepared. She told
Okay.
me she made it. It
Nice.
was made, you could tell it was made. It
Yeah.
tasted good, though.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell this is homemade. It's not, again, you know, when we talk about ketchup, we're so used to tasting that sugar. So this is, there's no sugar in this, but you really get to taste some of it. I like it. It kind of, you know, and you'll like it, and you'll especially like it with the sweet potatoes. So the other thing that is being sampled today is the black bean dip. So again, that is so easy. It's like 4 ingredients. You stick it in your blender, and you don't have to open or buy this again. Because I mean, and it's expensive. These things are not cheap. This is not cheap. So so everybody, I know it's one of those lessons I kind of was leaving for last because it's like I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but it's not. The good news, it's not your fault. That is so important to understand that, you know, we always beat ourselves up because we like junk food and we like to go to McDonald's and we like to go get French fries. It's not your fault, okay? This food has been engineered so you keep going back for more. So just, it's okay, forgive yourself.
Sugar and salt are evil white powders that ought to be classified up there with heroin and cocaine, according to Spike Lee.
Well, no, but actually there was a big Times. The front of the Times magazine said it had sugar, and it was in a line like cocaine, you know, and a straw, and it said sugar. The next, or the new cocaine.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is. They've done brain. They've done. I'm going to do a class on sugar, a whole class on sugar. But they have shown in the brain what happens, what chemicals get released when you eat sugar, and it's exactly what happens, if not more so, with cocaine. Just saying, we'll have a whole class on that. I love that class. It's quite I mean, it's not a Debbie Downer. It's just one of, people are like, oh wow, okay, get it now. I think I need to make some changes. That's okay. You can make small changes and know that it's a true addiction. It's a true, legitimate, certified addiction. They should have it as a drug. Sugar should be a drug.
Well, is raw sugar better, or it's like the same as the regular?
Sugar is sugar.
Salt is salt.
Salt is salt, except if it's coming out of an ocean or coming off a rock.
Still NaCl.
Well, it's what your body does with the NaCl.
All right.
It's what your body does with it. And again, remember, food is information. Food is information as well as medicine. Okay? And your body knows how to decode that information. It does not know how to decode this kind of information. It doesn't recognize it. Doesn't know what it's talking about. Don't understand the language. Here, oh, okay, there's betaine in that. Oh, okay, there's, what are the other phytochemicals? Gosh, it's escaping me now. Carotenoids. Oh, there's vitamin C, vitamin Bs. Oh, I know what to do with that. Okay? You getting, understanding? Make small choice, make small changes and know it's a process.
Organic supposed to be better?
Organic. Yeah, we can have a whole class. We're going to have a class on that. Don't let it fool you, though. Even if it says organic, it's still high in sugar. It can be organic sugar, but it's still high in sugar. That label we'll talk about, and we'll decode that when we do a class on that. It's a good question.
Even though sugar is bad for us, if we're gonna eat sugar, is it better to eat high fructose corn syrup
No.
or like some white sugar that comes out of the jar, sweet stuff like that? Which is the lesser of the two evils?
I would say the table sugar, white sugar. I mean, I don't even want to say that.
It's obviously not good for us, but is it better than the high fructose corn syrup?
It's not good.
Okay.
It's not. It's not even better. I can't even say one is better than the other because they're both not good.
Pure cane sugar?
Pure cane sugar. I mean, when you take, so it comes from sugar beets. For it to become
Not sugar cane. Like I've been to Hawaii and they had sugar cane.
Well, sugar cane or sugar beets. So, but when
Okay.
you start with that and come up with a white powdery substance, some stuff has happened to that. So it's, again, it's in the processing. That's why it's called highly processed, highly refined. It's taking something from its natural state and making it something so unnatural. That's really the bottom line. So whether it's good or bad, it's all bad because it's all not natural.
What about honey?
Yeah,
Better.
that's better. However, the marketers have figured out how to not have pure honey You want to make sure it says pure honey on it, but they have found ways that it's really only high fructose corn syrup. Oh, I hate to say that. So some of the things that say honey on it, that don't say pure honey or 100% honey, chances are there's fructose corn syrup in there. I know it.
At the fast food restaurants in the packets.
Yes,
That's exactly what that
That's
is.
exactly, they can't afford, I mean, our bees are becoming extinct. They can't produce the honey. Again, that's another thing, it's local honey. Anything that's coming from within, you know, it's great if you can find it in like Swannanoa. If you had honey that, or bees that, you know, or honey that's being made there, that's awesome. But if you go farther away, and if you're getting honey imported from like California, then it's missing some of the other nutrients, the valuable nutrients that are in honey that are good for you, and that comes in your local honey. So, and what happens is it becomes like your body responds to it because the pollen is there. The pollen pollinates your food system. It's what the food you eat. The bees are pollinating on that. So it's all like this really great circle of food. That's why people eat local. Okay, because your body has adapted. It's too why people come from other parts of the country and find it hard. And probably you know, it's like your culture is certain foods. So your DNA it responds to certain foods. Whereas if you live here, grew up here, you were raised here, your body, your DNA translates food too differently and wants different kinds of food. It's all, so one size doesn't fit all is very important to know. What is good for you may not necessarily be good to me or me. But all of this isn't good. Okay? I think we got the point today. I know, you're not smiling at me.
That's good. We're very appreciating information. It's good for
Because I want you all to be healthy. I want you to be healthy and thrive and not be misinformed
That
as well.
is good. We're learning new things for good life.
Awesome. All right, so there was. I know you're like. I'm getting the evil eye over here. So take this packet. This has a lot of good information. The other thing it has on here is how to eat on a budget. How to eat these foods on a budget. There's some ideas in there, and also what are the things what are you going to try to stay away from? Artificial sweeteners, hydrogenated oils, ingredients you can't pronounce. So, yeah, okay, good resource here. All right, I hate to run, but I'm going to be late for my other class. I love you all. I know you will be in good hands when I leave, and when I come back, you're all going to be shiny and you're going to be healthy. You know, you're healthy now, but you're going to be more healthy because you're eating more of this food and learning some more things. So, thank you. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sally.